Hey everybody, his Nibs here, and a little video on the New Year of the Rabbit pen from Hongdian. This is I got the black and gold version. There are 4 color variations, and I really thought about getting the red and gold, and may still do so for my own collection. But this is their homage to the Year of the Rabbit. And as you may recall, last year they came out with a gray rabbit, the N7 rabbit on top. Whoops, upside down. And several rabbits throughout, but I'll show you some close-ups of that when we go to the macro lens on the desktop. This had an all black nib, piston fill with an ink window, whereas the N23 is a cartridge converter pen, and about 10 grams lighter just because of that, I think. And I have what do I have in here? Okay, I have a cartridge in at the moment. Wanted to use up some of these ink cartridges. And this particular one has an architect, or what they call in China a long knife or long blade nib, and we would refer to as an architect. So please stick around for the next scene, and I'll link in the description to the video of this pen, which I reviewed last year in 2022. And if you enjoy this, please like, share, ring the bell, do all that stuff that everyone on YouTube has to say these days. And see you momentarily. Okay, in Hongdian's continuing celebration of all things Haas. Alright, you're the rabbit. If you'll recall, last year they came out with the N7 gray rabbit. And you see the little rabbit there at the top. And there are a number of rabbits on the cap top, which I'll get a little closer to in a moment. But I have a full video, which I will link below, that I did last year when this came out. And I've used this a lot. Piston filler, black nib, in keeping with the coloration. And in 2023, the actual Year of the Rabbit, they've come out with the N23, and this is available in 4 different colors. As you can see, I got the black and gold. Again, when I link below in the video, you'll be able to see all 4 colors, red, blue, and green maybe? I don't recall offhand. And this has a gold nib. This particular one is their long knife nib, which is quite similar to what we would call an architect nib here in the West. And this is a cartridge converter, and I happen to have a cartridge in there, as you can see at the moment. But it comes with the standard Hongdian converter when you purchase the pen, and those are all very good, well made. So I'm having trouble going to macro while I'm actually videotaping. So let me stop this momentarily and see if I can make that switch. See you in a moment, I hope. Okay, here we are with the macro, and hopefully I can get quite a bit closer to show you this beauty. Doesn't have as many rabbits as the N7 from last year does, but you can see a guy there. And it's a very attractive pen, and especially in the black and gold, subtle in its own way. It doesn't grab you from across the room with bright colors and over-the-top decoration. And here we have I'm using natural light from my window. I'm filming from a different desk and location than I normally do. And let's see how close we can get with the macro and the light. Now you're going to actually see this better than I am while I'm videotaping it. Hopefully. And very comfortable pen unposted, which is always my preference. But it does post very well and securely. And there's a little back weighting because of that, but it's not unusable posted, as many pens are with heavy caps. And here again is the N7 Gray Rabbit from last year. And there we see a bunny there. These are both dark pens and natural light at a strange angle, so hopefully this comes out fairly visible. And there's the bunny on the cap, and has a clear acrylic cap top. And you can see these other excuse me, these other symbols from the horoscope. There's another bunny up there. And so let me get out scale. You don't want to see me step on my regular scale, believe me. Okay. So, let's see if this is, there we go. So this is the N7, the Gray Rabbit from last year, 39.4. Both of these pens have ink in them, so these will never be exact weights of the pens. And 32.7. This feels more solid and heavier, so I'm not surprised at that reading. Barrel alone, 24.9. Come on, baby. 19.2. Wow, so that's a full 10 grams. And Capilone for the N7, 14.2. And the N23, 13.3. So those are very similar. So really the weight is in the barrel. Wrong cap, Norman. The weight is in the barrel of the pen, and again, this is a piston fill, so you have the whole piston mechanism. And this is a cartridge converter, and I just have a cartridge in there, not even the weight of a converter, which is small, but weighs more than a cartridge. So put the scale aside. And this is a, all right, let me get out my loop. Hold on a second. Okay, this is an F from last year. And this is the Hongdian. I write it this way. Actually, it's one word. I've gotten from the source, so really it should be written that way. And so this is a fine, which is almost a medium, closer to a medium almost in the U.S., which I quite like. And the Hongdian nibs have been really smooth and terrific writers, and from the very moment that the nib touches the paper, they flow very smoothly. I haven't been disappointed with a Hongdian nib yet. And the N23, Year of the Rabbit, in black and gold, has, whoops, guess I should have prepped that one a little bit. As you can see, quite a bit broader, and this is the long knife nib. And an architect nib is basically reverse of a stub. So you get thinner lines vertically and thicker lines horizontally. So it provides nice shading to one's hand. And God knows my hand needs all the shading help it can get. I haven't been doing any extended writing in the last couple of months, and I can see my poultry handwriting deteriorating as a result because it's gotten very little use. Actually, the best handwriting in my personal experience belonged to my mother, and very, very nice handwriting. Not so much my father. So I did inherit from my mother. Boy, I really needed to prep this cartridge before this. Let me see. This is the technical way of prepping a cartridge. Converter would have been a better choice, it appears. And the piston fill, N7 Gray Rabbit from last year, has no ink delivery problems. So this is a very stiff nib. You're really not going to get line variation, which is fine because it's not a flex nib in any sense of the word. comparison, you're going to see quite a bit of line variation with the long knife nib. In the N23. Very, very nice, and you'll appreciate when you see the other colors as well. I really debated between this and the red and gold, and I may get that for my personal collection going forward as well. Very handsome pen. Celebrating the year of the Haas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when I did the video on the N7 last year, the Gray Rabbit, I mentioned the fact that Haas, or properly pronounced Hase in Germany, means hare or rabbit. So I thought they were just paying homage to me directly. Apparently that's not the case. So when my grandfather came to the US from Germany, I don't know whether at Ellis Island they changed the pronunciation of our surname to make it more Americanized from Hase to Haas, or if that's something he did. I never discussed that with him. Think of it as the car. Many people say Porsche. And I'm gonna go drive away in my Porsche, and I always ask them front or back Porsche. But the proper pronunciation of the car company is Porsche. So, although I go by, and always have, and my father always have gone by Haas, it's actually Hase, the E on the end. So now that I've thoroughly bored you about that, two really lovely, lovely rabbit pens. And as you can see, the N23 is a bit lengthier capped and has more of a classic torpedo shape, whereas the N7 has a flattened end finial and would be flat at the top if it were for that acrylic dome covering the rabbit. And uncapped, you see that difference again. And let me get these level. And actually the N7 is, the Gray Rabbit is slightly longer uncapped. Not enough to write home about. Although if you do write home, please use one of these pens. Thank you too much, and see you next time.